So I'm here at Fancher Davidge Park. I just finished walking through that park, and now I'm going to walk along the park and head to another park called Maple Hill Park. I'll record as much as I can because I only have about 39 minutes left on this memory card, but I'll do my best. I don't think it takes that long to walk to that park. I don't think I'm going to record the return trip. I do have to return because my car's parked here, and so I'm going to walk through here and then walk through the park if I have enough on the memory card, and then on the way back I'll just stop the recording, or maybe I'll just record until it ends and then edit whatever out that I want to. So this is again Fancher Davidge Park. That's the lake in the background. This is the ball field. Now, strangely enough, whether it's meant to be a parking area or not, this weird shoulder is usually used as parking. I'm assuming for the bold, because I would not risk parking my car here and then have somebody take this turn a little too fast and then destroy my car. There's a basketball court. There's a playground. The new playground, which I mentioned in the previous video. I believe there's restrooms back there. There's another pavilion. Now, if you're in the area and you want to do a lot of walking, and you want to get a really good workout in, you could actually start at this park here, do the loop that I mentioned, and then continue walking to the next park. And I don't know if you can see that. There's a bunch of dogs. I don't know if this is I don't know if they just like dogs or if this is some kind of dog. I don't know. Well, I guess they didn't like me recording their dogs. Maybe it's a one of those doggy daycares. It's a possibility. I have made a video at night coming through here. I was on a bike at the time, and I was testing out various bike flashlights or headlights. I don't think I actually uploaded that video yet. I haven't decided if it's even worth it, because this camera unfortunately does not do a very good job. Let me get out of the street before I get hit by a car. Doesn't do a very good job with low light. There's a playground. This is another parking area, specifically for the parking for the park. I'm going to try to avoid pointing the camera directly at the sun as much as possible. I realize that this is probably not the best time of day to record this. Now, in the distance, I don't know if you can see that little blue building. You know what? Let's take a walk over there. This blue building, during the summer, is usually like a food stand. And it has changed hands a few times since I've moved here, and it looks like it's gonna change hands again because there's a sign that says for rent. So I'm assuming the original owners haven't changed hands and they just rent it out to whoever wants to use it. Huh. I'll try to brighten it up when I edit the video, but you could pretty much see how it's not the greatest when it's dark. Now the sad part of this is there was a really nice mural on this wall when I first moved here, and it was like a beach scene, and then whoever, maybe it was the owners, maybe it was somebody who rented it, they unfortunately painted over most of it, and then it looked like maybe they changed their mind and realized that they made a mistake, but by then it was already too late. So for a whole season it was like half a mural, and then they decided to, well, finish it off. And it's a bit of a shame, but it's private property. People do what they want to do with it. Now let's get back to this little route here. Now this is Oliver Avenue. Let's hope this guy doesn't run me over, because this is a stop sign. Here we go. And if you've seen any of my other videos, specifically a couple that I've done at night, again, I'm trying to avoid the camera going directly at the sun. If you've seen any of those other videos at night, I usually drive through here. It's kind of a nice view. Now I mentioned in the previous video that this is, or used to be, a railroad. So I don't know if you can see how it's all open going down that way. And then it comes along here. And it continues that way. So it actually runs along the park at some point. It kind of curves a little bit. Now this is part of that same rail system that they have been converting into a pedestrian trail, or the heritage trail is what they're calling it. Now, I don't know if you can see that. This is historic. At one point there was a bridge here, I guess. No longer. As I said, it would be really nice if they do extend this trail up to this point, because then I can always just park my car at the park, do whatever I want to do in the park, and then I can actually jump on this trail with my bicycle maybe, and just go all the way along. It does reach all the way, well, technically it reaches all the way to, where is that at? I forget the name. The furthest I've been is Goshen on my bicycle through that trail. I have about 30 minutes left on this memory card, so I will be walking faster, pretty much my normal pace. Problem with that is, you might already hear it, I'm gonna start breathing hard, and I don't want that in the video. I don't want that to sound obscene, so I'm gonna try not to talk too much. Now, behind that white pickup is Gino's Motel, and it used to be Gino's Pizzeria when I moved in. I met the owners. They said they moved here from Queens, I believe, in the 70s. But unfortunately, they've either sold the pizzeria area or they're just renting it to someone else. It's no longer a pizzeria, it looks like. In this area, it's currently, I think it's shared amongst various higher learning institutions. It used to be, at least towards the back of that building, a mental institution. There's a lot of medical offices and different facilities here. But if you have seen my previous videos, I do a couple where I drive through here. I may have even done one where I bike ride through here. I don't think I actually uploaded that video. Might have been too dark. But this area is being renovated. The actual asylum or former mental hospital is still closed up. I don't know if they're gonna renovate that. I know there's at least one video out there on YouTube where someone has actually gone through it. I would never dare, at least not without permission. I'm too old to get arrested for trespassing. I really don't want that to happen. So unfortunately, the best I could do is just drive around it and record it. Now, I'm gonna walk along this path because it's not the main road, and it's a bit more scenic. I'm actually gonna cut through this little area. They still haven't redone this road yet. Now this is another area that is actually very nice to walk around. It's not a park, even though it does look like one. These are streets. This is an actual street, and where we're going to be walking is also a street, even though I believe at one point this was a closed campus of some kind, because that main street that you see, I think I'll show it. It has pillars, which looks like it also had a gate at one point. So this was probably private. I haven't looked into the history of it, unfortunately. But you can walk through here at night. There are street lamps. It is can be a little spooky. What I like about this is that at night, when those street lamps come on, they're not those white LEDs, those new white LEDs that you see everywhere. They're actually the original or the old school amber. I don't know what kind of bulbs they were, maybe incandescent. But it's those old-fashioned, I say old-fashioned, lamps that gave that orangey amber glow, which in my opinion, I think actually illuminates better. It's less aggressive on the eyes, and you can actually see more. But that's just my opinion. Those are the street lamps I grew up seeing in Brooklyn all the time. That's one of those lamps there. Now, there are a few of these buildings. I think there's some kind of institution, some kind of medical services provided, maybe rehab, not quite sure. But that's what is kind of around this area. I'm gonna loop around so you can see that entrance, so you understand what I'm talking about. When I say this seems like it used to be closed off, like a closed off campus. These are all public streets now. So as long as you don't try to get into any of the buildings, you can walk through here at night. Now they've recently done these roads. Looks like they might have to redo this one though. So that is the entrance. And let me get a little closer. And as you can see, it has two pillars on the side. You can even see the attachment point on the top where there looks like there might have been a gate. So I'm assuming that at some point in time this was private and you actually had to gain permission to get through here. Now we could continue walking down, what is this? I always forget the names of the streets. We can continue walking down this street, just past the gas station area, and then turn and then walk until we get to the next park, Maple Hill Park. But I actually like walking through here instead. Again, it's away from the major road. You don't hear all those cars. It's very quiet. Looks like they recently mowed the lawn or the grass. I can smell it. At night, this place is full of deer. And if you're lucky, if you're walking through here, you might see a fox or two running around. The last time I made a video, which I still don't think I posted, but I made a video. I was walking through here at night, and there was a fox, and I guess he felt particularly playful. Not with me, but he was just darting back and forth, running around, jumping. It was summertime as well. I don't think you're gonna see, or you would see too much wildlife right now. You might still see deer. A lot of the other animals that tend to live in burrows, I think they just hibernate and they just chill out when it gets this cold. And look at that. Don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to be real quiet. Ooh, so that you can see it, hopefully. Problem with these cameras is that to create that wide field of view, everything looks farther away. So hopefully you can see it. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, there's a lot of deer. There's a whole bunch of deer. Now I have no idea how close they'll let me get. Okay, they're kind of getting skittish now. I don't think I've ever seen this many deer congregate like this. What would you call this? A herd of deer? And if you can see them, which might be too dark already, these are white-tailed deer. You can tell because they have, well, the white tail. When they lift it up, that is. How close can I get to you before you freak out? Apparently that close. Wow. Yeah. Also, that white house in the distance, or two white houses, I believe are abandoned or just they're not occupied. I haven't seen anybody go in or out, and they seem boarded up. Okay, let's continue on because I am running out of time here. Now I hope you were able to see that. Unfortunately, between the shadow cast by these trees and the contrast of the sun directly in the camera, it's possible you didn't see it. Take my word for it though. There are a few deers. that's also new. Or maybe I just didn't notice it before. I'm assuming that's a garden. Probably planted by whoever lives in that facility there. But it could also be that facility. Now, if you wanted to just stay in the area and get a good workout walking around, you could just follow this road and it would actually come all the way back around to Monhagen. That's the name of the street, avenue, whatever it is, where we started our little walk along this area. So this kind of loops back around. You would end up walking through more of these facilities. You would pass the abandoned mental asylum, mental hospital. But we're not going to go that way. We're actually going to make a left up here, take this little road, make another left, and then a right, and that will leave us at the Maple Hill Park, which I am running out of daylight as well. It's 4 o'clock. It gets dark. Well, technically it gets dark around 5, but it gets too dark for this camera to do anything around, let's say, 4:30. Now, I have no idea what this building is. I do like it. Again, you probably can't really see it. Okay, so now we're gonna walk down this here. If in the future I get a better camera, well, a better camera that I can record at night, I'll maybe make a new video and walk through here at night. Assuming this video is even comes out well. If it doesn't, I probably won't ever do this again. Now this area here, I believe it's a rose garden. At least that's what they call it. They maintain it. They cut the grass. They cut down some dead trees over there. They seem to have knocked down those doors, unless somebody else did that. That's interesting. I don't know if that sign, you can't see it from here. It says Rose Garden. State. I can't read it from here. It says visitors welcome, but I doubt it. The only thing that's growing here is pine trees and grass. I don't see any roses whatsoever. I'm assuming those might be, at least that building there might be restrooms, or used to be at some point. But honestly, I have no idea. It's been like this since I moved here. It would be great if they turned this into a public space, or or if it was at one point they bring it back. But for now it's just an empty space. There's a sign up here. Let's take a quick look at that and then head back in the opposite direction to the park. Ooh. It looks like they took down whatever lettering is on there. I can still make it out. It says Rose Garden dedicated to MPC staff, 1874 to present. So at the very least, there's history here. I don't know how old that building is, if it's the original building, but let's hope that they actually do something with it. Alright. I have 13 minutes to basically run to get to this park, which is just up that road. Now this building here, next to the garage, used to be, at least when I moved in here, it was a Mexican bakery. Never had a chance to actually go in and try it out. And then, as you can see, or maybe not, it's no longer a Mexican bakery. It's some kind of Asian restaurant. It doesn't actually say what it is. Hopefully they'll have better luck. And this right here, you can see it. This is Monhagen Brook. And further up this road, if we can get to it in time, is the park. I have less than 11 minutes left. Now I have no idea what that vacant land, what that is. It is closed off, and clearly there's a road, or it used to be a road. Also, that pole there, I don't know what that is, but it has a solar panel, and it looks like it has a camera. I don't know when they put that in. Up ahead, that pole that also has a solar panel has a little sign that tells you the speed limit. And it also has a sensor, so I can tell how fast you're going. And it tells you, you're going too fast, slow down. I'm assuming maybe that other camera back there might be one of those cameras that records your license plate and might issue you a ticket. Maybe, maybe not. I've seen one or two more of those cameras recently in other areas. It's like always where the city starts of Middletown. Oh, there's a lot of kids in here. Let's try to avoid recording them because I don't want to look like a creeper. Plus, I don't know if there's rules against that on YouTube. So this is Maple Hill Park. Closes at sunset, which is in another few minutes. This is the playground. Up there along that hill, just above that hill, that's the dog park. So to access that dog park, you actually have to go through the back of this park, which may or may not... Wait a minute. There's a path over there. I never noticed that. So there is a path right there that leads up to the dog park. Don't know if it actually gives you access to it. Now this is another pavilion. I'll swing around real quick just to show the playground. But again, there's a lot of kids playing there, so I don't want to record too much. It just seems weird. And again, up on that hill, you might be able to see that fence line, maybe not. That's a dog park up there. Now, much bigger playground than Fancher Davidge Park, but that's about all they have. Further back, they do have a swimming pool, which I don't know if it was open this summer, last summer because of, well, actually last summer because they didn't have enough lifeguards. It was actually closed. Then you have this little park, this little pond here, which they recently did this part. There are fish in there. I don't know if you can fish, if they allow you to. Tends to be overgrown with aquatic plants to the point where I don't think you really could fish without losing the hook every so often because it would just get stuck. This is also new. Fairly new. I think they put this in about a year or two ago. Now you can follow this path here and it'll take you right along the pool entrance and then lead you into the street, or you can walk around this part to look more at the pond. There are also these little exercise stations over here, which I don't know if people actually use them. And they kind of circle the pond here. And before I run out of memory, I'm going to show you one more thing and hopefully end the video properly. So if you walk up this path, there's more of a stretching and exercise area to your left here. There's another parking area. So you can see this little what is this, a wellness station, I guess. And then in the distance, which you can't really see, those would be tennis courts. This is gonna be tricky. So there's tennis courts that way, and over here, which is what I wanted to show you, there's another little extension to the park. And there's a trail that starts off on the left. It takes about maybe 5 minutes to walk around, but it leads you through the back, through like a little wooded trail, past this pavilion in the distance, which you can't really see. Then you come out through there, and then it brings you back into that little parking area. If I think it's worth it, I'll maybe make another video, and I'll just come back here, I'll drive here, park it, and then just do a separate video just for that. But right now I don't have enough memory in the on the memory card. I'm about to run out in about 4 minutes. Somebody needs to take that car to a mechanic. I don't know if you could hear that backfiring. But yeah, that's another little trail. Now this is a little parking area, extended parking area. I'm assuming for anyone that wants to use either the tennis courts or maybe the pool. That's the pool right there. Now I believe that there is a YMCA that actually uses this pool to do either swim lessons or maybe it's just coaching for a team. But when I first moved here, I do remember seeing that. I never did actually see this pool open to the public, at least around the times that I was coming through. But I did see them doing some laps and training. I don't think it was open this summer. COVID kind of closed everything in 2020. In 2021, might have still been closed. No, I believe only one pool opened in 2021, and then this year 2 pools opened, but not this one. And the reason they didn't open this one is because they just didn't have enough lifeguards. It's a shame, but is what it is. So I'm about to run out of time here. Let's just show this real quick. So you have your entrance here. And that is Maple Hill Park. I don't have time to record the return trip. It's just a return trip anyway. It's just the same thing, but backwards. So I think I'm gonna end it here. So if you enjoyed this video, you know, do the thing that you do on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I appreciate it if you're still here watching, and I hope to see you again. Until then, take care.